my friends, I'm Rick, and anybody know this guy? Anybody seen this fella? This guy is Senator Kennedy, right? And I recently was watching some stuff on YouTube yesterday, or day before yesterday when I was working. And this fella come up a couple times in various people's podcasts and things like that. And he's going on about gun violence, and he's specifically targeting Chicago because he's a Republican, and he's trying to drive home that Republican or he doesn't want to be Republican. He's a rhino, right? That narrative about how bad blue controlled cities are. So if you're a democratically led city in America and you've got gun violence, obviously it's because your democratically elected officials are complacent with it, is what this feller would tell you. Meanwhile, he's from Louisiana, and I believe his state is like the second most violent state when it comes to gun deaths in this country. So you talk about a hypocrisy, a hypocrite, and a blatant hypocrite. You getting that, Senator Kennedy? You is a hypocrite. You're a blatant hypocrite and a liar, or you're really stupid, a very uneducated individual. And it's funny because you're a product of the Ivy League too. You're a product of them big same school systems that y'all are hell bent on trying to strangle. Part of that good old boy network too. Anybody here want to bet this, Mr. Kennedy, Senator? Excuse me. Senator Kennedy here wasn't a member of some secret organization like Skull and Crossbones or the Wolf or a number of other of these Ivy League college yuppie wealthy rich school wannabe good old boy. You think? Maybe? Wonder if we do a little research in his background and see if he was a former member of one of these fellas. Because I always love to know that stuff. I mean, I kind of wish I had my laptop or my phone. I could Google it and check. All right, because you can Google so much crap today. It's crazy. So he was going on about trying to put the problem of gun violence in this country on the criminal element in our country. And I grant you, a lot of criminals in America carry guns, and a lot of them have a tendency to use them. Keep in mind, though, the lion's share of gun violence in America are not done by people with rap sheets as long as an elephant's tongue. Right? They're not committed. The lion's share of gun violence in America is committed by law-abiding American citizens who've never done a thing wrong in their life to get knocked by the damn system. People having bad day, having marital problems, having anger issues. Wasn't not long ago was a feller road rager got shot and killed. You take your life in your own hands when people out there today. Everybody's crazy. You just don't know what that other person's may or may not be willing to do under what circumstances. Worse off, you may or may not know whether or not they have the means to be lethally, pack up whatever it is they're ranting and raving about. You have to take that into some serious, you really have to, you're taking your own life in your hands because you just don't know. And every year, in the last 10 years, the gun ownership in this country has exploded, in part by fears driven by a lot of these Republicans, these conservatives, who are fear-mongering you for votes. They want you terrified. And then they'll sit back and be horrified when it really goes south and everybody goes off on a grand shooting spree. That's the one thing I keep waiting to happen that hasn't happened yet. These mass shooting events where suddenly the other side, the people being shot at are packing heat and they pull guns and start shooting. The next thing you know, you've literally got some weird ass Wild West shootout where everybody's shooting at everybody because nobody knows who was shot what. You think I'm wrong about that? I'm telling you, mark a calendar, start a pool. I suspect that'll happen sooner or later, right? So you have to be cautious. For everybody, you can't take anything for granted today. And there's a lot of people think that somehow gives them power and strength. They feel superior because, I don't know, they have a tool in their pocket that could kill somebody. That makes them special. True. Perhaps it does. At the end of the day, though, it doesn't change the fact that the lion's share of violent crime, gun violence specifically, committed in America today were committed by people that didn't have a rap sheet, didn't have any violent tendencies that anybody was willing to follow up on. There's a rare few occasions where people were waving fingers and sounding alarms, and they were ignored, and that gets that comes out in the wash after the event. It's just like assault rifles. Under what circumstances, short of an invasion from a foreign power, aliens, or the end of the world, does an American have any business having an assault rifle any fucking form whatsoever? You do not need semi-automatic or automatic weapons in America to hunt. Nobody hunts with them. Anybody that tells you they hunt with them is lying. Nobody intentionally hunts. So what do we hunt? We hunt for sport or we hunt for meat. So it's an argument. There's a lot of people hunt for the meat because they're going to consume it. And there's some sport to it too. But those people who just hunt for the sake of sport are just out there butchering animals for no reason whatsoever. Now that's their privilege. That makes them pretty shitty people in my eyes. At the same time, nobody needs an assault rifle. You're not going to go out there with an AR-15 and shoot a quail. There won't be no quail left. How do you even know you hit something? You're going to obliterate it. You know, you're going to go hunt deer. Your boat's going to pass through the deer more likely and not just cause the deer to die somewhere off in the woods somewhere where you can't find it. If that was your purpose, you're a fuck ass. You're an asshole, and you should have your gun taken from you. You know, that's my opinion. You don't like my opinion? Bring your fucking gun so I can shove it up your ass. You don't like that opinion either? My lawyers are bigger than yours. If you want to commit a hate crime on my property, I'll own yours. And if I won't, my wife will. That's how I feel about that crap. So when Mr. Senator Kennedy here starts that southern drawl kind of, well, Carrie, you're trying. So the answer is no. No, the answer is you didn't get what you wanted to hear, fucknut. And the fact of the matter is your state's far more violent than Chicago has ever been on its worst day. What's that say for Louisiana, my friends? Y'all live down in Louisiana? Is that all good with you? You got gun violence like there's no tomorrow? You got 10 times the gun violence that the least smallest states, the biggest blue state, the smallest blue states in the country with the smallest gun violence in the country, and the top red states, top 10 states, 1 out of 9 out of 10 are red states with the 30% or around 30% violent gun violence per person. That's insane, right? Iowa's gun violence rate's pretty damn low, but it still happens, right? It still happens. I live in a neighborhood where I get the privilege at least once every spring of hearing some whack job shooting their gun off next door by the damn strip club. And wake your ass up at 4:30 in the morning a couple times doing that shit. You know, all you can do is grunt, roll over, and go back to sleep, and be grateful that my house is made out of cinder block and brick instead of plywood and sheetrock. So, right? But at the end of the day, this guy's they're not helping any. They're not trying to help. And these people, at the end of the day, they don't want gun reform because it's just no value in it. In their mind, somehow or another, 70-80% of Americans want something to be done. Something to be done. Because things are getting crazier and crazier. And what's worse is it's going to keep getting worse. We've already got this extremely hostile environment that's being stoked and driven by these assholes who want power in Washington and will do they will literally burn us to the ground in order to be kings of an ash heap. And this Kennedy fellow, he's right in that category. Isn't this the same fellow that talks about doing a third party run? The do nothing party. Oh, well, wait. No, that's not what they want to call themselves. That's what they ought to call themselves, the do nothing party. All right, let's just be honest. The party that cries and whiffles and waffles, and the party that tries to enforce and corrupt and steal. And then we need a third party, the do nothing party, that basically sits on its ass and complains about the other two parties all the time. Yeah. right? I suppose I could fit into that kind of most independents would fit into that kind of category. I sure as hell wouldn't be voting for this guy because I don't like him and I don't like what he stands for and I don't like his way, the way he pursues stuff. He's very insulting to these experts and these specialists. You know, he's demanding answers from somebody whose field of expertise has absolutely nothing to do with it. Well, that's just stupid on the part of the good senator. Are you that dumb, senator, or do you just don't fucking care? No, because you don't care because you got your narrative, and you don't care what the response is at the end of the day. You just want something you can try to twist somehow. You know, it's like Neil Tyson Grease or whatever that famous astrophysicist who turned down the privilege to go and investigate the Mexican mummies that appeared back in the spring, and his reason for turning it down was, why are you calling an astrophysicist? I don't specialize in mummies, dead bodies, living bodies, organics of any sort. Those are the fields you should be checking with. Those are the people you want to come down here. No, you just want me or an astrophysicist because somehow it'll just give you a sound bite, but it will actually serve no purpose whatsoever in furthering science and humanity's knowledge of these whatever the hell they are, right? So it's the same problem. It's like It's like the same conservative party that keeps going on and on about protecting the children. We're going to protect the children from perverts and from this and from that, when their own party is full of those very perverts they need to be protecting them from. Imagine that. The wolf wants to protect the chickens. The fox is working to protect the chickens, so they can prey on the chickens. They just don't want to share it with somebody else. They don't want the weasels coming in. The fox does not want the weasels coming in and helping themselves to the fox's morsels. That's how I take away. That's what I take away from that kind of crap. And then there's the obvious logic of, well, we want to end abortion. We want to outlaw abortion to save unborn lives of children. Once they're born, good luck, Junior. Good luck, Junior. Welcome to America. First thing you better find is some bootstraps for them diapers of yours. We made sure you could get born. We don't give a F about the rest of you. The rest of your life, you're on your own. Good luck. McDonald's needs some slave labor. I mean, some low-paid wage labor. Plenty of people won't hire you for jack shit. That's why we wanted you born. That's the only reason we tried to save you. No, it's a crock. It's such a thick crock of shit. You need a bulldozer to clean it up. I mean, it just gets worse and worse constantly, and it just we're going to implode on this issue sooner or later too. You know, I hate to say it. I hate to say it because nobody else says this crap. What it's going to take is a bloodbath at the rich level. You're going to have somebody, you're going to walk into one of these Ivy League expensive ass schools and go on a rampage and kill a bunch of these senators' children. And then suddenly those senators will be outraged and they'll want some kind of reform. You know, or what if this happens at, what if this had happened at Jan 6, if they'd have gone in with guns blazing and more likely we would have, Trump would be king right now and not a damn ex-president looking at prison. But at the end of the day, what ifs? So you don't give a damn about people and their lives, and if anything, you should just go full bear. Why not just go in all in and just say this? We need to enact gun law in this country that mandates everybody carry a gun. Everybody from the age of 10 to the age of 100 should be legally armed. Isn't that what you want at the end of the day? If everybody was legally armed, how different would be the world today? How different would we comport ourselves in public when we know that everybody we're looking at, from the 10-year-old and up, has got a gun on them? Just think about that. Just how much different our society would be if everybody was mandated to carry a gun. Everywhere, at all times, day and night. Just some thoughts there, America. Just some thoughts.